Hello, and welcome back to the Eight Figure Dentist podcast. So, first and foremost, let's talk about the name of the podcast. So, I recently came back from a conference, VIO, Women in Orthodontics, where I was the first time a sponsor. So, I went to this conference as a doctor, and I have been in this group. We have a Facebook group with these wonderful women orthodontists. I'm an orthodontist if it's the first time you're listening to the podcast. So I've always been a participant because I am a practicing doctor, but I also have a coaching company where I help women doctors build boutique practices. So it was always kind of like two sides. And this is the first year where I went as a sponsor. So I had a booth, and Stephanie Cornejo, Dr. Cornejo, one of my clients, flew with me and helped me. I mean, it was so wonderful. It was amazing. It was so great. And if you were there, hello. I hope we got to chat, and I hope I met you in person. It was so amazing. And what I've learned is that a lot of people are confused by the name, the eight-figure dentist. So before we jump into today's podcast, I just wanted to address that. First and foremost, okay, what is the eight figures? People, come on. Eight figures means 10 million plus, right? Six figures is 100K, $100,000. Seven figures is 1 million. Multiple seven figures means multiple millions. Eight figures means 10 million plus, okay? Nine figures would be what? A billion, right? Am I right? It's like over 100 million. So what I help you guys do is, if you want, using the strategies that I teach you, you can build a 10 million plus dollar practice. 10 million, 12 million, 15 million. How I know it is because I've helped people scale dental practices up to 13 million. So I have the experience doing this. Now, does that mean that you have to want this goal? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, most doctors I coach, because remember, I only coach women, most of you guys want somewhere between 1.5 or maybe a 1 million to maybe like up to a $5 million practice. You don't really want an eight-figure practice. You don't really want $10 million practice. And mostly it is because you think it will be too much work, which is so not true. But regardless, if you use the strategies that I teach you inside of the eight-figure dentist, you will achieve the number that you want. But I'm just telling you, the name of my company reflects the top, like the max of what I know how to help you achieve, okay? Because I've never helped anybody scaled a dental practice to 100 million. That would be a lie. That's not my expertise. But up to 10 million plus, yes, I know how to do it. And I know how to do it in a boutique way where you don't need 10 different practices, where you have one or two offices. If you want somewhere between $1 to $7 million practice, depending on your location, depending on your specialty, it's literally one practice, one doctor, and you can work 3-4 days. If you want closer to 9-10 million, then we're probably looking at like two practices, maybe one associate. We're not looking at 10 practices, okay? So that's the eight figure where it's coming from. Dentist, okay, let's talk about this. So many people at the conference told me, but I'm an orthodontist. My friend, I love you, but didn't you go to dental school? Don't you have a DDS or DMD behind your name that says you're a dentist, yeah? And I get it. Like in certain specialties, we just get so used to being called, I'm an orthodontist, I'm a surgeon, I don't know what else, right? Like I hear from periodontists or OMFS, like I'm a surgeon, I'm an orthodontist. I don't know, I think pediatric dentists do call themselves dentists, right? I'm an endodontist maybe, right? But we are dentists, right? We're not physicians. We're not chiropractors. We're all dentists. And if you're a specialist, you actually have to be in the top of your class, yeah? The best dentist. So that's why I call it dentist, because what I teach applies to all specialties. Now, I happen to have more orthodontists in my world, probably because I'm an orthodontist, but I also coach pediatric dentists. I also have periodontists. I also have general dentists. We don't have a ton of endos, so where are my endos? Right? So that's where the name is coming from. I hope it's not confusing. Otherwise, I'm going to change it, y'all. But that was my thought behind that. All right. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the topic for this week. What I wanted to talk to you guys about is your website. So if you have been around my world, you know how I teach marketing, right? The way you bring in new patients in your world is through marketing. That's how we do marketing. And sometimes I talk to people and they say, oh, I don't do any marketing. And then when I talk more to them, they say, oh, yeah, I just had lunch with this dentist that refers patients to me, or I just did some drop offs, or, I like to do PR, right? Like I like to be on the news or have an article written about me. Well, my friend, this is all marketing. All of this is, what is marketing, you guys? It's not ads. Marketing is letting people know that you can help them. This podcast is marketing. It's very helpful marketing, right? Because I'm teaching you so many helpful tools. I'm giving you so many amazing ideas. But that's what makes good marketing good, right? Is because you're helping people ahead of time. When you give people help ahead of time for free, they will trust you and they will get a sense of what you produce, like how you help. And then, of course, they are more likely to come and work with you. Make sense? It's like you're giving this little amuse-bouche, like this little appetizer that they give you at restaurants. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Now I want a whole dinner, right? That's what really good marketing does that. It helps people. But in every single podcast and on every single email or my social media, my website, I'm letting you know that I can help you. And your marketing does the same. So every time you tell somebody about your practice, and again, it doesn't have to be like a weird, creepy way, but every time somebody knows that you are a doctor, you are a dentist, or whatever specialty, you're doing marketing. So whenever you are waiting to pick up your kids in line and you're chatting with another mom and she learns that you're a periodontist, you just did some marketing, my friend. It's called organic marketing, okay? So what I teach when it comes to marketing is that there are only two types, right? There is online marketing and then there's offline marketing. I just like to think about it this way. It makes it very, very simple. Online marketing makes sense as everything on the Googles, right? It's your website, it's your social media, it's your ads. That's pretty much three things we can do there. Offline marketing is going to be your internal patient referrals when we ask patients for referrals. It will be your referring partners or dentists. It will be any events that you're sponsoring, any flyers, any like you're on the podcast or you are on stage somewhere or you are mentoring in the school or you are on TV, any of that PR. All of that's offline initially is I call offline marketing. Okay. So this episode today is going to focus on the online marketing and specifically on your website. So probably all of you here listening have a website. And if you're just starting your practice, you're definitely thinking about having a website. And I want you to think about the job that the website does. And it's killing me what some of the marketing agencies are telling you. Love you guys, love your marketing agencies, but what I hear sometimes is people tell you, oh, your website is just like your landing page or your Instagram is just your landing page. It's like basically just letting people know we're here. Like it's not supposed to bring in patients. And the way I like to think about profit and business, and that's why I have built 2 successful 7-figure businesses, is I like to think of everything I spend my time or money, and as a mom, you can relate that time is more expensive than money at that stage of our life. But everything I spend my time or money when it comes to my business, I want to see the ROI. I want to see the return on investment. So I don't want to pay someone to build a website that is just there to make me look quote unquote official, or have an Instagram just so that it looks quote unquote active. It better be bringing me new patients and cash. Otherwise, why am I paying you cash? Anybody with me? That's just my philosophy. And listen, maybe you have so much money and you're just doing this for fun and I've talked to people like this, then amazing. Just skip. Don't listen to this podcast. But if you're in it for profit, take some notes. So, your website's job is to bring in leads, is to make sure that the humans on the internet actually book an appointment with you and come see you for consultation. That's why website on its own doesn't do anything. That's why you've paid people to optimize it, right? SEO, search engine optimization. I'm sure all of you know what it is. Now, welcome to 2026. SEO is no longer relevant. Did you know? What's more important in 2026 is something that's called an AEO. So what AEO stands for is answer engine optimization, not search engine optimization, which is the SEO. What that means simply is that humans are no longer using Google as much as they used to find answers. These days, people go to ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok. They go to AI to ask questions. And so your website or the name of your practice better be coming up by ChatGPT. I actually had some clients that came to me for coaching because ChatGPT recommended me to them. And I'll tell you how to make sure that your website is optimized. First and foremost, talk to the person that does your website. You probably have somebody who's doing your website and optimizing it. And if you don't, it's a good idea to do it, to hire someone. And just tell them, hey, do you know how to AEO my website? How to answer engine optimize it? Okay, so that I start coming up in AI, in ChatGPT searches, okay? And the way you do it is just so that you also have a general idea. This is another advice that I have for you as a business mentor is never hire somebody where you completely don't understand what the hell they're going to do for you. Okay, you want to have at least a general concept idea of what they're going to do and how you're going to get an ROI, return on investment, for your practice by hiring this person. Have real clarity. All of the so-called experts and all of their awards and their 30 years of experience is not as important if you don't understand what the hell are they going to do with your practice. So ladies, I really want you to start asking questions. Okay, so tell me, how are you going to make sure that my website is showing up on ChatGPT? Exactly what are you going to do? Ask them these questions. Same thing for your CPA. Like, they use complicated language. Don't be afraid to sound like unintelligent. It's like nobody's born understanding this terminology. I believe this is what made me so successful is because I think because I started from zero in 2 different countries. First in Czech Republic when I was 18 and I didn't speak the language. I didn't know a single soul. And then at 25, once I was already a dentist and I came to the States and I didn't speak English and I didn't know a single soul. I moved on my own. So I had no choice but to ask all the questions. Let me tell you something. I've been punished for that. Not to go on a tangent, but I just learned very quickly that especially American educational system does not encourage questions. At least the system that I have been in, right? They say you need to do more of your own research and it promotes problem solving. And okay, I get that, but then you still, with that information, want to come to the teacher and then you tell me, you explain to me, like, why the hell am I paying you money? That's just my mindset. And it's not always have been accepted warmly, but nor here nor there. When it comes to business, like, come on, this is our bottom line. This is how we're feeding our families. Let's not bring that same mindset into hiring people for our practice, shall we? So whenever you're talking to these people, ask them, how will you do this? And here's how, if you have a good person, here's how they will do it. In order to optimize your website for answers, they need to know exactly what kind of phrases are your patients searching. Makes sense, right? They need to know what are patients, especially patients in your area, but when you're a boutique and you follow my philosophy, it's going to be patients from all over the states are following or our questions are asking. And those questions need to be on your website, not just keywords, but even like questions. Okay. All right. Then the question is, well, how are they going to figure that out? Ask them this question, please. And here is a resource. It is called answerthepublic.com. Okay. There's something called answerthepublic.com where you can go, and this is a website that collects questions from Google and ChatGPT that humans have been typing on your topic. Okay. So you want to go and see what are people asking, right? What's relevant. And then you need to make sure that your website is optimized where literally on the front page you have an FAQ section or somewhere nearby, that your headlines incorporate more of the questions, that your website has more of the conversational kind of style, rather than just here's what we do and this is the services and ta-da-da-da. Because the patient doesn't even know what they need. Think about this. It's like you need to buy a new, like, you need to get your car checked, right? But you don't know if you need new tires or you need new brake fluid. And you type in the car shop, and all they have on their website is these are the 4 different or 10 different types of tires that we have, and like 6 different types of brake fluids. And this is like the antifreeze. And you're like, what the hell? I don't even know what I need. Can I talk to someone? Can somebody check? Right? So you're just making the consumer, your future patient, do so much effort to research. And guess what? They're going to go with a doctor that actually provides those educational resources and explain to them what they need and why. And that person better be you. So make sure that your website has the FAQ section, and those questions come from what your patients, your best patients, are actually asking. Start noticing in your consultation room, in your medical questionnaire form, what are the questions that these people are asking? What are their chief complaints, right? Like how are they describing it? And if you're inside of the Conversion Queen, it's my program where I teach women doctors how to convert consults, case acceptance, conversions 90% plus. And one of the things that I teach you is you have to know the chief complaint, not just what they put on the form, what they told you, like 3 layers deeper. Okay. So listen to your current patients, look at the forms, use that website that I told you, the answerthepublic.com. Answer, ANSWERTHEPUBLIC.com. Answerthepublic.com. It's the website that collects the questions that people are putting in the ChatGPT and in Google on your topic. You just put the topic. And when you hire somebody to optimize your website, ask them how they will do this. Do they even understand what AEO means? Answer Engine Optimization. And then make sure that your website is optimized and the headlines are more in the question format, like question answer. It's almost like you're having a conversation with the patient by them just reading your website. When you do, you will start attracting more of your dream patients. And you will start popping into the ChatGPT searches and Alexa and Google, all of these voice question services that we're using. All right, my friends, I hope that was a very helpful podcast. As always, I'm going to attach a worksheet that walks you through all the steps that I just discussed, so you don't have to take notes. So go ahead and download this worksheet below, and it will teach you how to optimize your website and what questions to ask to your website person to make sure that humans are finding you on ChatGPT and other AIs. Have the most beautiful week, my friends, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye, y'all.